Hey YouTube, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm going to be stepping away a little bit from LeetCode and OpenCV and teaching you how to do an LCD on Raspberry Pi. So there's not much explaining to do here, let's get right into the video. Let's talk about the things you need. So I'm going to use a breadboard and I just have the GPIO extension, which means you're going to need a 40-pin GPIO cable to connect it to your Raspberry Pi. Of course, you're going to need an I2C LCD1602 display, and you're going to need 4 cords. The back uses an I2C or I2C protocol, which means it only needs 2 cables to connect to the Raspberry Pi, which I have right here. This is a 5-volt device, so it will run on 5 volts. You can connect it to the Raspberry Pi directly, but I'm just going to use a breadboard because it's easier. So the first thing you're going to do is plug a wire in for each one. So, of course, the first one, I recommend using different colors because you won't get them mixed up between different components. That in there. Then once you get them all on, you can go over to the breadboard and connect it. Just like that. Right now I'm going to be talking about how to connect the breadboard to the Raspberry Pi with the 40-pin GPIO cable. So what you're going to do is have the one that's on the inside connect it to the extension board. This will make it so it's not like all over the place, like over here or just out from the Raspberry Pi. Then all 40 pins has to be connected to all of these, so you want to match them up and put them on. So the way we're going to connect it is going to match it up with the what it shows here. So first one is the ground connection. So you're going to go onto your board and find ground, which in my case, I'm just going to plug it in up here to the ground. The second one is the 5 volt, so we're just going to plug it in above that. The next one is the SDA, and that one is on the opposite side. There. And the last one is SCL, which is right below it. And that is what it should look like on your breadboard. When you first plug in the Raspberry Pi, you should show a little display on your LCD 1602, but it will just have nothing showing on it. Now what we're going to do is configure the Raspberry Pi so it enables IC2. So what you're going to do is sudo raspi -config, and then use arrow keys, go down to interface, go down to IC2, and press yes. And then you just want to reboot using sudo reboot. Now what we're going to do is check to see if it is configured. So you're going to do I2C detect -y1, and it should be a little something like in the 7th row 2027, which that means it's good and it is connected. So the first thing we're going to do is install our packages. So I'm going to be using the easy RPI LCD Python library, which you're going to do pip install RPI underscore LCD. Let that install. So I forgot to mention, only do this on your Raspberry Pi that it is connected to. I am using Windows right now because I cannot figure out how to do stuff with my Raspberry Pi yet, so right now I'm just going to do it on Windows. So once you have this, you're only going to add really 3 things to what you want. It's very easy. All you have to do is import the package, so from RPI underscore LCD import LCD, and then right above the safe exit you're gonna do LCD equals LCD, and then try in this area it's just put LCD.text. This will just whatever you put here will show on the screen, and after you're gonna put whatever line you want it to be, so comma 1. So this one is gonna be on the top line and this one is gonna be on the bottom line. I'm just gonna put hello Raspberry Pi, and then in the finally you just want to do LCD.clear, so when it runs and you stop the program, then it'll clear instead of keep it up. So right now there's nothing on the LCD. I have the code up here. Now all you have to do is run it using Python display.py. Run it, and as you can see, it does show up. So that's how you know it worked. Everything is connected to the Raspberry Pi. It is running. This is the code. And that is everything. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week for another video.